Mutable string. We have studied that strings are immutable. Now, what that mean? Mutable strings. Once created, their content cannot be changed. So strings in Java are immutable, we know that. And once created, we cannot change their content. And this is beneficial for security and memory efficiency. But it creates a performance problem when you need to modify strings repeatedly. So now let's see the problem. String concatenation in looks. Consider building a string by appending numbers 1 to 10k. We know that every time we are appending, we are creating new string in our heap. Okay, so creates a new string object every iteration, because every time we will create new string and that will not present in our string pool, so we need to create new object in our heap. Strings cannot be modified. Java creates a new object on every iteration, and in this case we only need final result, right? So we are creating object that we need to destroy immediately. First one we create 0, then we create 0 1. Okay, so copy this one and then append this one. Same goes for that, and we have to do that for 10k times, and this will produce 10k temporary objects that are immediately discarded. So the result is extremely slow performance and also unnecessary memory allocation, right? So string builder is a mutable sequence of characters. It modifies its internal buffer in place without creating new objects. And here is the same operation using string builder. We need to convert that SB type to our string, okay? Because this one is different type than string. And we can also check performance here as well. So this one is not like benchmark, but just for understanding our string builder and string iterations. So first let's create one string s equals to empty string. Okay, now we can take one time, okay, timestamp. So start one s dot trim and okay, so we're not getting correct suggestion, I guess. System dot nano time, more precise. Okay, can do it, we can s equals to s plus I. All right, we can go up to 1k and equals to that one, and right, and minus start. Now we can test with the string builder long start to, and this time we are getting correct suggestion, right? So let's take that one. Okay, and we will not print these strings because we will get some output like 1 2 3 4 5, then 6 and 10, then 11, then 12, then 13, something like that. So it's better not to do that. Compile this one and run this one. So you can see that we have massive difference, and you will see more difference if you increase this number. Okay, so we have string builder solution. This one is orders of magnitude faster. We have seen like hundreds multiplication in our test because it modifies the same object throughout the loop. We have some key methods for string builder. We have first one append, adds text to the end. String builder sb equals to new string builder, and we can initialize our object with this data. Okay, and we can append this one. Then we have insert. If you want to insert any data at any particular index, then you can do that. Okay, at index 5, if you want to insert comma, then you can do that. Okay, also reverse. Reverse is the character sequence, right? Okay, then we have delete, start and then end. So removes characters from start up to end, and this one is excluded. Okay, very basic thing. If we have two indexes, like, so in almost all the cases second argument is always excluded in Java. Okay, now next one is StringBuffer, and this one you probably heard about. It's almost identical to string builder, but this one is thread safe. And what that is, we will understand that one in our later part of our series, like what is thread and thread safe. Okay, so StringBuffer is an older class with an almost identical API to string builder, that means we have similar methods like reverse, delete, insert, append. The key difference is string builder, not thread safe, but faster. Use this in single threaded context, which covers the vast majority of use cases. Okay. And string buffer, thread safe, all methods are synchronized. If we see that string buffer sv2, now if you click on this string buffer, so you can see here that our methods are synchronized, all methods. Okay. So that means this one is thread safe. Okay. So thread safe, all methods are synchronized but slower due to synchronization overhead. Only necessary when multiple threads modifying the same string concurrently. Now we have one comparison between string builder and string buffer. So mutability, this one is immutable. This one is mutable and this one as well. Performance, fast for reading, fast for modifications, slower. Okay, thread safety, yes, this one is immutable. So obviously if anyone is immutable, then that is definitely thread safe. This one is not, yes. We have storage, string pool, heap, string builder, heap, okay, and heap as well. So we have here heap, and this one is also heap because Java did not provide that much optimization that it provides to string. They do not need, right? They can modify their current object value. Then we have quick summary here. Now let's understand one more thing, which is string formatting. So far we have used system.out.println for all output. It works for the basic debugging, okay, but it provides no control over alignment or formatting. Consider displaying a table of items, okay, which contains, let's say, name of different length, right, and age, whatever. So the alignment is broken here because the values have different lengths. And we can solve this by string formatting. We can define our specific templates with fixed width fields. Okay. So we have one very important method for that, printf. We have this syntax. You can define your template. Then you can provide your arguments for placeholders or for specifiers. Let's say in this template you defined 5 specifiers, okay, then you need to provide 5 arguments. If you look at this one, here we defined only 2 specifiers, okay, first one is this one and second one is this one, so we need to provide 2 arguments, right? So these are placeholders, placeholder for string, this one is for decimal integer, and we have common format specifiers. First one is string, then this one is for integer, this one is for float and double, this one for character, this one for boolean, and this one for new line. Okay, and we don't need to provide any value for that new line specifier. And we can also control our decimal precision. You can control the number of decimal places by adding this dot capital N between percentage and this F keyword, okay, where N is the number of digits after the decimal point. Okay, so if you put just F, then by default your number is 6. Okay, and if you put 2, then 2 decimal places. If you put 4, then 4 decimal places. So we can see this example here. For now, let's copy that, print that here. Okay, so we have this variable double, and we are adding here that new line. Okay, and this will not require any new argument. It will just add one new line, okay, after this sequence. So we got this value. Okay, this one is for decimal precision. Let's understand our alignment and padding. Okay, and we have one notice as well before moving forward. Java automatically rounds the value for display. In the example above, becomes like we have 9 after 5. So if you are asking for only 4 decimals, that means our Java will automatically round off, okay, that value when formatted to 4 decimal places. Alignment and padding. So you can also define any number, right? Any specific width with positive. This one is right aligned with 10 characters. Padding will be added to the left with the spaces. Okay. In this one, your characters will be assigned to the left and we will add padding or white spaces to the right. Okay. Mostly you use this one. So we can copy that. You can see here, our first placeholder is this one. So we are expecting one string, okay, and we defined its length 10. So first one is item, that's fine. Second one is also same length, okay, and third one is just any length. We don't care because we didn't specify any length here. Okay, compile this one and run this one. So we got perfect alignment here. Now what we can do is we can just increase this one. Okay, more than 10 characters. If you do that, and if you do that here as well, compile this one and run this one. So you can see here your values will move forward. Okay, so right side basically. So here we have negative 10. That means we are adding our spaces to the right. You can see here. Okay. Let's make this 15 for more clarity. Compile this one and run this one. Okay. So we added spaces to the right. And if you make this +1, that means we will add spaces to the left. Compile this and add this like that. Okay. So very important part is that it does not matter how much placeholder you are mentioning here, just provide those values. Okay. Storing formatted strings. Printf prints directly to the console, and if you need to store the formatted result in a variable so that in future we don't have to format again, okay, we can use string.format. It uses the same syntax but returns the string instead of printing it. Okay. String message, string.format. You can do same thing here, right? But now you can store your value inside that. And in later part of your code, you can print that. Okay. Now, can we use these two simultaneously? That is the question. So let's check that one. So we have this pi and we can mention here or in somewhere in middle. Okay. We can mention here pi. Okay. Now for that, if you print now and if you compile this now, then let's see, because we provided one extra argument, right? Compile that. Okay, no compilation error. Run that. No runtime error as well because this one is considered as string for now. Okay. But if you change that to D, this time you will get one error because now we are providing double, but we are expecting from placeholder digit integer value. Okay. So remember that. So for now, make that string back. And what else we can do is here we can specify one float. So we can put F and here we can mention that precision, let's up to 4. And also we can mention 10. So can we do that? Is malformed, so we cannot do that this way. First we can do something like that and then can we do that. So this one is the correct syntax. First you define your space, okay, and then you can define your precision. Let's just run this one. What's the problem? So first one is string, which is this one, that's fine. Okay, so we need to define that here, I guess. Right, compile that and just run that. Okay, so we got our result here. We added here negative 10. That means we will add spaces to the left. We can define our width as well as our precision in one placeholder. Now we can move forward with our next topic, which is math and random.